remind all you parents here today that if you didn't have a chance to get a copy of my book, Black Parent Advocate, make sure you come to my table. It's the last one in the corner here, and get you a copy of that book. Because after the holiday season is over, your children are going to be back in the schools of New Jersey, back in the schools of Philadelphia, New York, Connecticut, DC, and Maryland. And their teachers are going to want to put them in special education. And some of y'all think that's a good thing. The teachers are going to want to put them on medication. And some of you think it's a good thing. Some of you have been brainwashed into thinking that Ritalin is okay, and Adderall is okay, and Cyclert is okay, and Depakote is okay, and Risperdal is okay, and Concerta is okay. These are nothing but some pharmaceutical street drugs repackaged, given to black boys who haven't been taught to sit still. I didn't say can't sit still, I said haven't been taught to sit still. And to my single mothers, thank you for doing a good job raising our children on your own. But please exercise more discipline with your sons. Stop spoiling little black boys. Let me say it again. Stop spoiling little black boys. Let me say it one more time. Stop spoiling little black boys, because your public school will not spoil your son. That charter school will not spoil your son. That Catholic school will not spoil your son. The number one job of a parent is to teach discipline. What is Dr. Umar's definition of discipline? The ability to do what you don't want to do when it has to be done, whether he likes it or not. Your son must have that. Your daughter must have that. You must have that, but understand, you cannot teach discipline if you yourself are not disciplined. And what I find in the black home is too many mothers and fathers are undisciplined yourself, and therefore your child is undisciplined. Brothers and sisters, our next problem is mass incarceration. More than 90% of black people in prison, New Jersey, New York, Kentucky, Arkansas, the Carolinas, more than 90% of all black people in jail don't belong there and are only there because they could not afford decent legal representation. So we have to ask ourselves, if we ain't got no independent schools for black children in New Jersey, and if New Jersey has one of the highest mass incarceration rates, and I'm using New Jersey, but this applies to all of us, one family. But if the schools are miseducated and the jails are over incarcerated, how can we spend $30 billion a year on hair care? If we ain't got no schools and we ain't got no jobs, which is why so many are going to jail, how do we spend $800 million on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork? How do we spend $2 billion on Air Jordans a year? And Michael Jordan hasn't built a single institution for black people. How is it we can spend billions on electronics, but most of our sons are failing science class? Many of our daughters are failing math class. How can you be addicted to video games and laptops and internet when you don't produce none? See, the one thing that black people have gotten comfortable at, we have gotten real comfortable at not having no control. And we're the only people in the country who are comfortable not having no control. When you study Chinese, when you study Arab, when you study the Native American, the East Indian, the Latino, when you study the Chinaman, you notice the first thing they do when they come to Trenton, first thing they do when they come to Camden, first thing they do when they come to Willingboro is they build a community of their own. They want their own supermarket. They want their own convenience store. They want their own dry cleaners. They want their own transportation system. They want their own school, their own clinic. Why black people okay not having none of the above? Why are we okay begging white folks to treat us right? Why is it we don't have a single totally independent black-owned hospital, but the hospitals is killing our mothers and fathers through COVID and Omicron and Delta variant? Look at the poor health we're getting in the hospitals, but we don't have no hospital. Brothers and sisters, I want to say this, and I want you to understand me very clearly. Until you hate racism more than each other, we don't get free. I want you to hear me really well. I want you to hear me really well. Until most of your disposable income either goes to a black business or towards solving a black problem, you're not ready to be free yet. Understand me, until we educate our own children in our own schools, we're not ready to be free yet. On December the 6th, we will celebrate 158 years, I believe. The 13th Amendment was ratified by 2/3 of the states on December the 6th, 1865. So in about 2 weeks, we will look at 158 years. And I want to say this to you, brothers and sisters, and I don't mean no disrespect, but when I look at the 20+ generations of Africans since the beginning of slavery, I think we are the most irresponsible of them. I think we are the least concerned about our future. I think we are the most selfish. I don't think there's been a generation of black people in the history of this country more selfish, more politically lazy, more disorganized, and more religiously immature than this one here. I'm not saying that to cast us away. I'm saying that to say that if we don't get it together, we are a pivotal generation. As we go, so go our grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We are the ones that got to fix it. And we can fix it. But in order to fix it, you got to stop doing some things. One thing you got to stop doing is being allergic to other black people. We are allergic to other black people. The only time we get along is when we're laying down or partying, and we got to change that. We got to get along off the dance floor and out the bedroom. Until we can get along while we debating liberation, until we can get along while we're talking about building our own schools, until the black man and the black woman stop airing our differences on YouTube. And black man, I want to say this, and I don't want you to take offense. Yes, the black woman has done some of us wrong. I understand that. And she has to be held accountable for that. But as the men of the community, we are the protectors of the community. And no man who calls himself a man would get on the internet and disrespect black women wholesale for the men of every other culture to watch you insult and denigrate and shut down the very same womb that you came from. If we need to have a conversation with black women, let's have a conversation with black women. But you don't do it on YouTube. You don't do it on Twitter. You don't do it on Instagram. Brothers, we have to get our gentlemanship back. We have to get our integrity back as men. We have to get our honor back as men. I know some of you are angry at what your ex-wife did, your mama did, your baby mama did, but you cannot go on the internet and tell other men it's okay to disrespect your woman. Because we will only go as far as the black woman rises. Because she's the first teacher of the baby. When you're at work, she's teaching your son. When you're at work, she's teaching your daughter. And if you don't treat her right, and if she's not strong enough, she will put the poison into your baby without you even knowing that. So we have to be very delicate with how we deal with our sisters, because they're the first teachers of our children. Brothers and sisters, many of you have followed me over the past 8 years as we have worked to renovate the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. 3 years ago, we purchased 2 schools in Wilmington, Delaware. And I'm happy to tell you today that it looks like the Marcus Garvey Elementary School of the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be fully renovated by Black History Month of 2023. Brothers and sisters. And I want to say thank you to those who stood with me. Because not all of you stood with me. Some of y'all be cooning, I see you. But for those who stood with me, for those who donated, I know it's been a long, hard road, but I want to say thank you. And I want you to know that when we open up the doors of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Trenton, New Jersey. And there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Camden, New Jersey. And there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Chester, Pennsylvania. There will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Baltimore, Maryland. And there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Maryland Eastern Shore. And there will be a bus that comes to the school every day from Dover, Delaware, and also Wilmington, Delaware. 8 bus stops. So we will educate black boys from 4 states. And for those of you who live too far away for your son to attend the school, I want you to know that we're working on a virtual platform that will allow your son to tap right into the classroom at 8 o'clock in the morning and see his teacher and see his classmates no matter where he lives at in the world. If all goes well, brothers and sisters, the last Saturday of February will be the grand opening, the community grand opening at the school. So please put that on your calendar. It's not 99% etched in stone yet, but as we're sitting now, the electric work is done, the plumbing work is done, the HVAC is up and running, we just need controls. I don't see why we won't be up and running for that grand opening the last Saturday of February. But with that being said, a lot of our children are still catching hell right now. And if you need my help at all, I want you to take down my number that I'm about to give to you right now. Call on me if you need me. Do not get any children evaluated for special ed under the age of 7. The learning disability is an opinion. You cannot prove it. ADHD is an opinion. You cannot prove it. The reading disability is an opinion. You cannot prove it. Mild intellectual disability is an opinion. You cannot prove it. Conduct disorder is an opinion. You cannot prove it. Please don't get the babies evaluated. Please don't get your child tested for ADHD, because if you don't give them the medication, they will take your children out of your house. It's called medical neglect. Brothers and sisters, let me give you my cell number right now. If you need a consultation, just text me. I don't answer the phone, but I do respond to text messages. I want to say this. I do not charge for intellectual disability evaluation report review. I want to say it again. I do not charge for intellectual disability evaluation report review. If any of you have been told that your children are retarded, if you've been told that your child is intellectually disabled, all you have to do is email me that evaluation report. I will review it for free and tell you whether or not I agree with the determination. Stop letting black children run around New Jersey thinking they're intellectually incompetent because you believe somebody's opinion about your child. Don't ever believe nobody's opinion about your child if it doesn't agree with your spirit. Nobody knows your child better than you. Stop walking into these schools and let these schools tell you what your child can't learn and what your child can't learn. Be the parent all the time, including inside the schoolhouse. Brothers and sisters, let me give you my number.
Big facts.
I'm going to say it 3 times. 215-989-9858. Second time. 215-989-9858. Third time. 215-989-9858. That is how you reach me. If you need to email me, Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. D-R-U-M-A-R Johnson at yahoo.com. Make sure somebody reviews that evaluation before you accept what they said to be true. Let me go to disaster preparedness, because I believe there's a disaster coming to America that's going to be engineered by the power structure of this country. Please get your family ready for the event of a natural or unnatural disaster. Do you have enough drinking water in your house right now for everybody in it if you couldn't leave for 30 days? Do you have enough food in your house right now for everybody in it if you couldn't leave for 30 days, assuming there's no electricity in the home? Do you have your non-perishable food? Do you have a way to dispose of human waste? If you cannot leave the house for 30 days and you cannot flush the toilet for 30 days, do you have a crank radio? Make sure you purchase a crank radio so you can know what's going on in the event of a disaster. Plug-in digital radios may not work. Do you have a way to cook your food if the stove isn't working for 30 days? Do you have enough infant formula or baby food for the children if you cannot leave your house for 30 days? Do you have enough guns and ammunition if you can't leave your house for 30 days and somebody's trying to get into your house? Brothers and sisters, get organized. Get prepared. Don't wait till the last minute. People all over America are having disaster preparedness meetings. Why are they doing this? Because they know something is about to go down in America that's going to make the COVID quarantine of 2020 look like a picnic. Brothers and sisters, get ready. I want to say this and then I want to prepare to exit the stage. I'm looking for people who want to work at FDMG and who want to volunteer at FDMG. We've already received 3,500 resumes, but I still want more to go through. If you're interested in working at the school, please email me your resume. Don't worry about being a certified teacher. Private school certification is different from public school certification. So don't worry about being certified as a teacher. I only ask you one question. Do you have a skill that black children need to learn that you're willing to teach? Because if you have a skill that black children need to learn that you are willing to teach, there's a space for you at FDMG, either as a volunteer or as a teacher. Yes, we need math, we need science teachers, we need reading, we need language arts, we need social studies, but I also need black women who know how to do natural hair. Because when we open up our Anna Douglas, Amy Garvey Princess Academy for little girls, every girl at the school must be 100% nappy by nature. No weave, no perm, no straightening comb, no European haircut. I'm not attacking my queens, I love all my sisters. But when your daughter comes to my school, she must come with her own hair. Why? Because if I don't teach your daughter to love herself as God made her, nothing else I teach will be relevant. The number one job of teaching black girls is to teach them to love what they see in that mirror. That means, black woman, if you're going to work at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, you got to be nappy by nature yourself. No weaves, no perms, no straightening combs. All right? You can wear it on the weekend at the club, but not when you show up for work. Brothers, no disrespect, but if you suffer from the snow bunny disease, you cannot work at my school. You can burn that damn resume. I just want to be honest. If your woman don't look like your mother, you cannot work at the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy. I just want to be honest. Brothers and sisters, resumes can be sent. Resumes can be sent to fdmgresumes@gmail.com. What are we going to teach? Political and military science. What are we going to teach? Agricultural and agronomical science. Some of you are farmers. Some of you know how to farm. Some of you have your own garden. Please send me a resume. We're about to buy some farmland in Delaware right now for the FDMG Farm and Garden. And what we want to do is we want to become the supplier of fresh organic produce for the entire North Delaware, South Pennsylvania, South New Jersey, and Northern Maryland black community, brothers and sisters. We're talking about building a black Wall Street through the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And some of you might want to move to Delaware. I'm from Philadelphia, but as soon as the school is ready, I have to move on down there. If you're interested in moving to Delaware so your children can come to the school, so you can be a part of the most relevant and the most revolutionary and the most innovative black community movement, you definitely want to be near Wilmington, Delaware when FDMG pops off. Because although we will be a school by day, we will be a community organizing center by night. We will have conferences for the black man, conferences for the black woman, seminars for the ex-offenders, seminars for black business, seminars for black farmers, for black gardeners, for black investors. We need a black bank, we need a black hospital. We will be a solutions-based campus for for the entire black community, brothers and sisters. So if you ever wanted to be a part of something that matters, if you ever wanted to be a part of something that was about more than just making podcasts and running our mouth on YouTube, then you want to join Team Pan-African. And I understand some of y'all don't come from Africa. I get that. But I promise you, if I took your ass to Africa, I'd find 20 people look just like you. So I don't know where you're talking about. You ain't from Africa. You was already here. Yes, you was already here. But you came from Africa. Everybody on the planet Earth for the first 250,000 years of humanity was an African. Whether you was in America, Canada, Asia, the Caribbean, we were on the planet alone for 250,000 years. So if you claim to be older than 250,000 years, you're a black African like everybody else. But brothers and sisters, we're not going to fight over what to call ourselves. Never fight over what to call ourselves. Are we Muslims? Are we Hebrews? Are we Moors? Are we Africans? Are we Ethiopians? Are we this? Are we that? As far as I'm concerned, we are all that and some. Why do I say that? Because if God doesn't have one name, you can't limit God to one name. If you want to call God Allah or Jehovah or Christ, if you want to call God Amin-Ra, if you want to call God Yahweh or Chukwu or Olodumare, that's fine. You can't reduce God to one name because God is greater than any name you can give God. And if God is greater than any one name you can give God, God's first people must be greater than any one name you can give us. So we are all that and some. No time to be fighting. It's time to organize. I want to say this as I leave.
That's right.
And if there's anybody here with questions about your children, just come on over and see me. If you brought your IEP, I'll take a look at it. You brought your behavior plan, I'll take a look at it. You brought your psychological evaluation report, I'll take a look at it for free right here today. But I want to say this. Information is good. Organization is better. Organization is good. Institutions are better. Brothers and sisters, we have to organize. Marcus Garvey said what? The greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture said what? If you organize a little, you get a little done. If you organize some, you get some done. If you organize a lot, you get a lot done. If you don't organize at all, you don't get nothing done. Queen Mother Fannie Lou Hamer said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want you to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Somebody sent me a video clip yesterday. Black teenage girl being beat by 2 white male cops with a whole bunch of black men standing around watching. Brothers, if we want our respect from our women, we got to earn it back. If we want our respect from our elders, we got to earn it back. Black men, if we want our respect from our children, we got to earn it back. What is our job? To provide and protect. That means we the reason there's no institutions. We the reason there's no jobs for our young people. We the reason so many black women are unmarried. We the reason there's so much crime in our black community. The community will only go as high as the woman takes it, but we will only go as far as the black man makes it. I want to leave with a quote from my ancestor Frederick Douglass. My family came to America in 1701. A black man by the name of Bailey, stolen from Nigeria. He was brought to Talbot County, Eastern Shore, Maryland. He married a black woman named Selah. They had my grandmom Jenny in 1745, Grandmom Jenny gave birth to Grandma Betsy in 1774. Grandma Betsy was born an enslaved black woman, but she married a free black man, my grandpop Isaac. 12 children were born between them. One daughter was named Harriet, another daughter was named Young Betsy, my 5 times great-grandmother. These 2 women were raped by the slave master who owned our family, Aaron Anthony. As a result of that rape, my Aunt Harriet gave birth to the greatest black leader in American history. His name was Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. At the age of 20, Cousin Fred ran away and he changed his name from Frederick Bailey to Frederick Douglass. The very next year in 1819, my grandmother, Young Betsy, gave birth to Frederick's first cousin and half-brother, my 4 times great-grandfather, Stephen Henry Bailey. Brothers because the slave master was their dad. Cousins because the slave master raped both women. My grandfather, Stephen, and grandmama Caroline gave birth to Grandpop George. He married Grandma Caroline. She had Grandma Vivian. Grandma Vivian moves to Philadelphia. She has Grandpop Grandmama Ida, she has Grandma Vivian. Grandma Vivian married Grandpa Cicero. They have Grandmama Ida. She meets and marries James Johnson. They have Jamal. Jamal meets and marries Barbara in North Philadelphia. And on August the 21st, the anniversary of the Haitian Revolution. And August the 21st, the anniversary of the Nat Turner War. And August the 21st, the anniversary of the George Jackson War. And August the 21st, the original birthday of Jesus Christ. I was born in North Philadelphia. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess the favor of freedom and deprecate agitation are like men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want the rain but can't stand the thunder or the lightning. They want the ocean, but they're scared of the awful roar of the water. Frederick said a man may not get all you pay for, but black people will pay for everything that we get. And if we are ever to become free, we will have to pay for the removal of wrongs against us. We may pay with money, we may pay with words, we may pay with blows, we may pay with our life. But he who wants to be free must himself strike the first blow. Frederick Douglass said, for 20 years I prayed on my knees to God for freedom, but the good Lord gave me no freedom until I got up off my knees and prayed with my feet. He said, if you want respect from whites, why do you look for pity? The man who pities you will never respect you, and the man who respects you has no need for pity. The most honorable Marcus Garvey, who gave us the largest black organization in modern history and the red, black, and green flag, Marcus Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life, but with confidence you have won even before you have started. Marcus Garvey was asked, are you an African or are you a Jamaican? Are you an African or are you a Jamaican? And Marcus Garvey looked up and said, you asked me, am I African or am I Jamaican? And I say, I will never give up a continent for an island. I am an African, yesterday, today, and for all times. Brothers and sisters, as I leave you, I want to let you know Dr. Umar's last few stops on the lecture trail for this year, because all roads lead to FDMG in February, and I want all y'all to be there with your children. I will be in Detroit, Michigan next Sunday, December the 4th. I will be in Aruba. For those of you who have Caribbean roots, and most of us do, I'll be in Aruba for a Pan-African Conference December the 10th. Tampa, Florida, December the 16th. Baltimore, Maryland, December the 8th. Jackson, Mississippi, the first day of Kwanzaa. Washington, D.C., the 4th day of Kwanzaa. Bronx, New York, the 6th day of Kwanzaa. And Black History Month again. Baltimore on the 1st and Washington, D.C. on February the 5th. Brothers and sisters, I want to say this. I love to speak and I love to socialize and I love to come together and have fun. We need this to heal the soul. But after we socialize and after we have fun and after we shop and after we eat and after we enjoy each other's company, because that is important to us. But after we do that, we got to roll up our sleeves and build those schools, build those banks, build those hospitals, build those supermarkets, build those distribution centers. Because one thing is for certain, two things for sure. God left the black man and woman of this planet in charge before he left it. And the reason you are not in charge right now is because you forgot who you were and you forgot your responsibility. I'm saying that to say that God is not going to help black people until black people help themselves. This is your planet. You're the king and the queen. And until you take it back, justice will never reign on this earth, because we're the only people in the history of humanity who rule the world with righteousness and not a machine gun. Peace and black power.